a frenzy for the first 8 or 10 minutes and exploded tremendously when the Canadians got the goals, but it's been rather quiet of late.
Well, they've got Scotty outnumbered back of the bench. 3 coaches plus an interpreter. And they tried to get that extra line change out there, but referee Harris ruled it off.
Schluchtop, number 22, is at center. Alexandrov on one wing, Vikulov on the other for the Soviets. For the Canadians, Lambert, Rise, Brown, Tremblay. Luchenko cleared it out over the line. Don Orey feeding it back in. Zagankov in behind the net, being watched by Rise Brown. Takes it, Rise Brown coming in, a pass to Lambert. He shoots it right on. And Petchiak had to make a good save. Here's Tremblay taking a shot. And he blasted one wide to the far side. And it went over the glass. So, Canadians line of Tremblay, Rise Brown, Lambert, very alert in the Soviet zone.
Mario Tremblay playing well. I'm not so sure, John, that last shot Lambert wasn't stopped by Tremblay with his stick in front of the net.
No, he just missed the corner in that last slap shot. He's worked very hard tonight, Mario Tremblay.
Played the best 15 minutes of hockey I think I've seen him play in a long time. He's the youngest player on the ice. He's just 19. Youngest Soviet player is Alexandrov, who is 20.
Face off outside the Soviets' line. Now shot. Over to Robinson, working down on the right side against Alexandrov. Luchenko in behind the net, watched by Peter Mahovlich. Good stick handling by Luchenko. He fired it for Alexandrov. And Alexandrov couldn't pick it up. Soviets are not having the success completing their passes tonight against the Canadians in the same manner as was the case against New York. There's a little flare up in the corner between Orey and Alexandrov.
Alexandrov is, as I mentioned, the youngest member on the Soviet team. He scored a goal the other night against the Rangers. He's a vigorous type player, and he was selected as the outstanding junior in the tournament last year in Winnipeg. One of his Canadian opponents in that tournament was Doug Jarvis, who's out here tonight for Montreal. And there's the action that results in this face-off in the Canadian zone.
On the face-off, Orey in behind the net. Vikulov, number 18, and Alexandrov, 11, watching the Canadians closely. Montreal shooting it out. Luchenko hands it off. Now it's in over the line. Vikulov leaving it for Alexandrov. He spun around, and Cournoyer is going to get a penalty for hooking.
So, Danny, a chance for the Soviets as the period draws to a close.
And it'll be Petrov, Mikhailov, Harlamov, Gusev, and Vasilyev. Canadians clearing it down the ice, and they are defending with Jarvis and Gainey up front with Savard on defense with Lapointe. Now the Soviets. Harlamov grabbed it at center, darting in on that left side. He dropped it back. Gusev slapping it into the corner for Harlamov, but Savard is there, plays it to Jarvis. And Jarvis starts out against Petrov. They fight for possession on the boards. Savard comes up with it. He hits the Soviet line, takes the shot. It's a weak one off Gusev's stick. Now Gainey trying to keep it in there. Mikhailov from the corner, turning with Harlamov and Petrov. Gusev moves up in the play, and he's stopped by Jarvis. Here's Jarvis down with Gainey. Jarvis decides to kill off valuable seconds on that penalty. From center, he knifed it back into the Soviet zone. A minute left in the penalty to Cournoyer. Now Lemaire during the forechecking. Vasilyev. He's stopped by Lemaire. And Lemaire cleared it out to center. Petrov is bumped by Roberts. Harlamov is stopped by Lemaire. And the Canadians doing a magnificent job of killing off this penalty to Cournoyer. Now Gusev sends it ahead. Petrov at center. Alexandra is up in the play. Alexandrov getting it back. Vasilyev takes a shot, and it goes off Lemaire into the center ice area. Mikhailov to Alexandrov on the right side. He starts in on the wing, and it's offside with Gusev in there over the line.
16 seconds remaining in the penalty to Cournoyer. And the Canadians have had a good shift right here of penalty killing from both Doug Jarvis, who then left the ice and was replaced by Jacques Lemaire. And if you watch the Montreal Canadiens very much, you don't see this too often, Jacques Lemaire sprawling to block a shot. but he certainly did there, and they are doing a lot of things here tonight. I guess they might not normally do because, as Danny has pointed out, the Canadians are very much fired up.
The Havlich this time shoots it down the ice. We have exactly 8 seconds left in the penalty to Cournoyer. Vikulov, 18, is turning. Alexandrov, number 11, has it. He feeds it ahead. The penalty has expired. The puck into the Canadian zone. And it is icing called against the Soviets. 2-0, Montreal leading the Soviets.
It was a second power play opportunity for the Soviet team. Vladimir Vikulov and his teammates, and they had not get a shot on goal in either one of their opportunities. This fellow's been on and off with the national team, Vikulov. He scored twice against the Rangers on Sunday. There's the clock situation. 1:22 left. Canadians lead by 2.
And the face-off, Cournoyer to Don Orey. Here is Robinson winding up. The shot is right on, but Tretiak had it taped all the way. Here's Don Orey taking a shot. Mahovlich fired it, and he was wide. Cournoyer along the boards. He's jostling there with Luchenko. Now it's back to the line. Don Orey keeping it in. Zagankov and Cournoyer fight for it. Cournoyer has it. Shlukov along the boards gives it to Vikulov. He fires the puck back to Luchenko. Now Vikulov was stopped. Zagankov working from the corner. Shlukov feeds it to Vikulov, cutting in on that right side, rammed in on the boards by Don Orey. Mahovlich played it to the corner. Alexandrov fell in the corner. Wilson missed the pass at center. Luchenko rolled it ahead. It was almost blocked by Lafleur. Let's see an interference penalty coming up here against Shlukov, is it? There's somebody over in that area. And let's see, the penalty will be assessed finally. And someone will go over there. Did you get that, Dick?
I think it is number 22, Shlukov. He hasn't been told yet that in the National League, I guess you've got to go directly to the box these days. He went over the players' bench. Now he has returned. There it is at the top of your screen. Interfering with the Canadian player, Bob Gainey. So with 15 seconds left in the first period, the Soviets draw a penalty.
Lemaire, Lafleur, Schott, Lapointe, and Savard. That's the power play alignment for Canadians. With just a dozen seconds left, they go with 2 defensemen. Here's Lafleur. Lafleur working the corner. He'll have to pass quickly. There's a shot by Schott. And it went off a stick over the glass in that corner area to the right of Tretiak. 3 seconds left.
That was almost a pretty good play. Schott worked hard to get in position with Lafleur with the puck watching. Time for a face-off and maybe one shot.
With 2 seconds left, a few years ago, Mahovlich scored from the face-off, the only goal of the game against Toronto. Doesn't happen very often. Lemaire gets the shot, but it's wide, and that's going to be the end of the period, with Montreal leading the Soviets 2-0. Now the second period. About to get underway, and the penalty killers for the Soviets will be Petrov, number 16, Mikhailov, number 7. And the front three for Montreal, Lambert on the left side, Lemaire at center, Lafleur on the right wing, Savard and Lapointe on the point. Gusev and Vasiliev are on the blue line for the Soviets. Now Lapointe hits the Soviets line, working into the corner, putting on the brakes, trying to get it back to Lambert. It's loose in there for a fraction of a second. Vasiliev and Lapointe fight for it. Lafleur is chasing it to the far side. Savard drops back to the point, back into the corner to Lemaire. Lemaire for Lafleur. Petrov is after him. Lafleur falls. Now behind the net, Vasiliev. He gets an opening, clears it out. Mikhailov over to Petrov. Lemaire wheeling back for Montreal. Lemaire over the line. His shot is blocked by Vasiliev. Gusev has it with 55 seconds left in the penalty to Shlukov. Canadiens back into their own zone. 2-0 Montreal, leading on goals by Shutt and Lambert. Here's Savard. Four-man attack for Montreal, and it's offside with Lambert going in too quickly on the left wing.
Well, there is number 6, Gennady Chikinkov, 28 years of age. This is his 6th year with the Central Red Army team, and of course this is the team that supplies the majority of the players to the Soviet National Club. 10 of them in uniform tonight were up against Harry and John's Team Canada 72 team.
Solidukin, number 15. Vikulov, 18, on for the Soviets. Here's Shutt winding up, and a cannonading shot right on. Back to Van Boxmeer. He shot a hard one. There's the point taking his shot. 3 big saves there from the firepower of the Canadiens. And that Van Boxmeer has come up with a tremendous shot, and he's very accurate. Here is Van Boxmeer coming down ahead to Cournoyer, bursting into the right side, feeds it in front, and Shutt was covered by Sagankov. Here's Mahovlich getting ready from the net. He pokes away at it. Tretiak is down. It's loose in front. Shutt getting it back to the point. Slitkov is back on. Gets it over to Vikulov. Vikulov over the line, takes the shot. The point blocked it. Shutt goes to the ice along with Vikulov.
A real smart play by Peter. Both Shutt and Cournoyer are tied up in front. Now here he comes and tries to go back on him, and he just lost control of the puck for an instant because he had Tretiak beaten.
Right, remember the goal he scored in Game 2 in Toronto?
That was a real classic.
Solidukin getting it back. It's at the line. Volchenkov lost it to Risebrow, and then Tremblay rolled it into the Soviet zone. Kuzkin, it's off Lambert's stick. Volchenkov losing it. Here's Tremblay getting set. He centered it right in front. Lambert was covered by Solidukin. Now the Soviets. Popov chasing it to the side. He's bodied by Lambert. Risebrow coming in on the left side. He centered it. Solidukin clearing it on the right side. It's Maltsev hitting the Montreal line, gathering speed. Maltsev around the net from the corner. Maltsev jammed into the boards by Bouchard, who falls. Maltsev doing great work for the Soviets. He's pulled over finally by Risebrow. Great work there by number 8, Maltsev. Now Savard on the right side. Solidukin after him. Popov goes after Tremblay. Volchenkov working to the line, losing it to Lambert. Players go sprawling all over the ice at the Canadiens line. Lambert is shooting it in over the line, and the Canadiens make changes while the play goes on. Now the Soviets broken up at center by Wilson. Wilson coming in with Roberts. He shoots it right on. Here's Wilson shooting it. The light went on. He hit the goal post. He hit the goal post. The light went on, but he hit the goal post. The goal judge was a little trigger happy there. Robinson faking the shot. Jarvis shoots it to the short side. Now they jam in on the boards in behind Tretiak, and Dick, I think the light went on, but off quickly.
And the goal judge waved it off immediately.
Well, Murray Wilson got it backhand away quick. Here's a save by Tretiak, and here's Murray coming up off the top post and did not go in the net.
Face off to the right of Tretiak. We are now a dozen seconds away from the 4th minute mark into the second period. Mikhailov takes his shot. They score! Mikhailov fired it. Dryden got a piece of it, and it went in. That was a quick wrist shot, Dick.
And only the first shot they've had on goal in this period. Only about the second time all night, John, that I can recall that they threw one of those long passes up and it worked.
Well, here's Mikhailov getting that quick wrist shot away, and I thought Dryden had a piece of it, and he did.
Yeah.
And it dropped in across the line.
2-1.
Red Army goal scored by number 7, Boris Mikhailov. Assist to number 5, Valery Vasiliev. At 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
3:54. Harlamov coming in, and he's spun around by LeBert. Puck is back at center. Mikhailov getting the goal. Vasiliev the assist. Here's Lemaire coming in over the line. And the Red Army team right back into the thick of things. It's 2-1 for Montreal. Mikhailov, a drop pass to Petrov. Back to Mikhailov. Petrov centering it. And it went off Dryden. The point ahead to Lafleur. Gainey is on the left side. Here's Gainey going in. He finally picks it up. Works off the boards. Into Lafleur. Lafleur getting set. Back to Lapointe. He waited too long. He was checked to Mahovlich. Couldn't get it in front. Now it's tipped ahead by Harlamov. Mikhailov going in, Dryden out of the net, and Savard comes up with it. Savard's pass hit Petrov's stick. Now then Lafleur. Forechecking is Harlamov for the Soviets. So is Mikhailov. Now Mahovlich with that big reach comes out. He cleared it ahead. And Gusev knocked it back to center. A neat move by Mahovlich. Mahovlich coming up with a Russian maneuver there, putting the puck between his skates. Here's Shlukov down at center on the right wing in over the Montreal line. The big fellow tried to center it off Ori's stick. Cournoyer bumped by Alexandrov. Gusev failed to hold it in. Now Mahovlich chasing it to the far side. Alexandrov turning at the Soviets line, back in over the Canadiens line. Here's Gusev firing it, and it went off Cournoyer. Lambert playing it out over the line. Chasing it to the far side, finally Gusev got it. Hit Alexandrov. 2-1, Montreal leading in the second period. Lambert couldn't hold the pass. Zagankov to Luchenko. And he missed Shlukov. Don Ori ahead for Risebrow. Now Alexandrov missed a pass. The checking so close right here, both teams failing to find the target on the passes. Ori to Lambert ahead to Risebrow. He failed to negotiate contact. Now Nikulov. He's stopped there by Risebrow. Risebrow coming in. Trombley and Lambert moving up. There's Lambert. And that one hit Nikulov. That pass hit Nikulov. He seemed to get it on the side of the face. Now Popov speeds to center in over the Montreal line. It's swept off his stick by Lapointe. Lapointe rolling it ahead into the center ice area. The Red Army team making changes. A dire dearth of whistles here in the second period. Puskin dropping it back to Balset. He starts in on the right side. It's cleared back to the line. Here's Popov. Giving it on to the side of the net to Solodukin, and he fired it wide. Robinson trying to clear it. And finally, Lapointe goes in there to take over for the Canadiens. Ahead to Jarvis. Jarvis down to the line. He's upended. And Solodukin, I think, is going to get the penalty.
There's a good chance here now for Canadiens to get right back and take over the play again.
Lafleur shot Mahovlich, Lapointe, and Van Boxmeer on the power play for the Canadiens. He'll give you the Soviets' defending lineup in just a second. Now then, Mahovlich centered it right in front, and Lafleur slapped it wide from the side of the net.
Oh, what a
That was a beautiful setup.
Great play, Ferg, by Pete.
You know, Dick, in the pregame warm-up, he was stopping all his shots on the low corner of the net with his goal pad. Most goaltenders stop them with their sticks. There was a good example. He got that goal pad across and give it all that more strength behind the stop.
Now Lafleur to Van Boxmeer, to Peter Mahovlich, to Lafleur right in front of the net and shot. He was in there pretty close. He couldn't get it up. And right there to block it, Tretiak.
Canadians throwing the puck around very well, and the Soviets, John, they're standing still a little bit out here in this penalty-killing role, which surprises me. They're making a change now.
Well, they went into a complete two-man defense, two-man offense here, that four-man box. The Canadians penetrated very good there, and they were unfortunate not to score. Lafleur gets it up in the top corner.
Gusev is on defense with Luchenko for the Soviets. Back to Lapointe. There's the shot, and it's blocked. Soviets breaking out. Petrov over the line. And Lapointe and Van Boxmeer got back. Here's Mahovlich with Lafleur. In over the line. Mahovlich near the corner. On the boards. He's upended, and there's a penalty coming up off to Gusev. Gusev going off with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in Solidukin's penalty.
What's the two-hander first? Now takes his feet from underneath them.
Here's Lafleur over to Lapointe, closing in for the shot. Sagankov got it. He starts out over the line. Soviets are 2 players short here. Here's the master, Mikhailov. Gets it back to the line. Luchenko lost it. Now Lafleur. 52 seconds left in Solidukin's penalty. Cournoyer coming in. He's centered it. Peter Mahovly's trying to get in front. They fight for possession. Mikhailov comes up with it for the Soviets. Brings it out to center. He falls. Lafleur coming back, hits the Soviet line. Cutting it on the right side. And it's swept away by Tretiak. Sagankov cleared it down the ice. Dryden ahead to Lapointe. Lapointe up on the left side to Mahovlich. Here's Mahovlich getting set the back pass. Lapointe over to Lafleur, closing in for the shot. Luchenko got in front of it. Here's Cournoyer, 2 Canadians in front, and it bounces off a stick to the corner. Petrov against Lemaire. Here's Cournoyer to Lafleur. He rips the shot just wide. Puck loose in front of the net. Cournoyer scores!
Last time Ivan scored a Tretiak, John, was the tire in Game 8.
Another wrist shot, Dick, and he really fired it. Got Lafleur's rebound and high on Tretiak. And the papers coming down here in the form, Dick.
Tremendous atmosphere.
Here's a shot by Lafleur. Over the top of the glass. Now watch Cournoyer. He's so sharp in front of that net. Here's the wrist shot. Up high. And Tretiak, of course, was down on his knees and no chance at all.
Close-up look at it here. You get a good look here at the wrist shot that Cournoyer takes as he swings around and just lets it go. The goal came just as the penalized player who was off first came on the ice, so that wipes out the other penalty, too.
Assist to number 10.
Well, there was no question that
and number 25,
second penalty was definitely deserved by Gusev. He gave him a two-hander, and then he took his feet from underneath it. And like you said, Dick, he made a reaction toward the referee.
It's the first time in 2 games that they have reacted to a penalty call against them.
Montreal 3, the Red Army 1. Now here's Popov breaking in on the left side over to Maltsev, and he couldn't get a good shot away against Boucher.
I think Savard is getting a penalty for hooking as he followed in on the original puck carrier Popov on the play. So quickly after the Canadiens make it 3-1, they will be playing a man short as Savard goes to the penalty box.
Canadiens penalty number 18, Serge Savard, 2 minutes for hooking at 9 minutes and 52 seconds.
9 minutes and 52 seconds, the time of the penalty. And the statistics being recorded by the Soviet coaching department.
That's his job. Remember, Teresov used to